Christ is born.
Last week, we talked about the presence of the poor and excluded at the nativity scene. This week, we'll focus on the larger crowd of people gathered around the manger. In his letter, Pope Francis notes that people of all ages love to add to the nativity scene figures that have no apparent connection with the gospel accounts. Yet each in his own way, he wrote, shows that in the new world inaugurated by Jesus, there is room for whatever is truly human and for all God's creatures. From the shepherd to the blacksmith, from the baker to the musicians, from the women carrying jugs of water to the children at play, the Pope said, all this speaks of the everyday holiness, the joy of doing everyday things in an extraordinary way, born whenever Jesus shares his divine life with us. Including so many different personalities in the nativity scene might seem odd. After all, the scripture accounts of Christ's birth don't include bakers and winemakers, fishmongers, farmers, and pottery makers. It has been suggested that the tradition of including such a wide variety of townspeople is a recognition that through his incarnation, Jesus has entered into our ordinary lives and our personal histories, no matter where or when we live. Last week, I added figures representing the poor and marginalized of our contemporary society to our nativity. Today, I'd like to add figures that represent our everyday lives, especially this year. We wouldn't have made it through the last months without the help of our faithful staff members, our direct caregivers, and other essential employees, as well as public servants like policemen, firemen, and delivery drivers. And so we welcome our nursing assistants and nurses, our kitchen staff, housekeepers, laundry workers and maintenance teams, as well as our activity staff, social workers, and fundraisers. These are the people who have done everyday things in extraordinary ways for us all year, in order to keep the elderly in our homes as safe and happy as possible. They have shown us what everyday holiness looks like, and this Christmas, we honor them by giving them a privileged place at our manger. God knows how much we need a village revival and a reason to celebrate in the midst of so much suffering brought on by this pandemic. He sent his Son to dwell among us, a tiny baby offering love to all. God still dwells among us in so many ways, even in tough times. This week, try to be more aware of your village, of the people in your life who have helped you get through these last months. Let them know of your gratitude, keep them in your prayers, and spiritually bring them to your own manger with you.
Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.